I know what you're thinking. It's too early to be thinking about Christmas. You've already seen way too many Christmas displays in the shops. You've already heard All I Want for Christmas Is You 20 times, and there's still weeks to go until we even get to December. I get it. But if you want to enjoy Christmas without a financial hangover in January, then the time to plan is right now. Get a plan in place now and you can enjoy Christmas without the stress. We're going to be talking budgeting, festive money saving strategies, frugal tips so that you avoid overspending this December. First thing to do is to embrace a budgeting mindset. I think Christmas is the season where all of our sort of rational behavior can go out of the window. So even if you have a budgeting mindset for a lot of the year and you're very sensible, Christmas just seems to be that pressure point where all of our usual sort of common sense and the way that we spend money and the way that we manage our money just seems to go all out the window, and we just think, hey, like, it's Christmas, let's just enjoy it. The trouble is, then you get to January and then you've got to deal with all those spending decisions that you made during those fun times in December. So what this video is about is making sure that you have those fun times in December, but you do it without the financial woes afterwards. Look, times are tough and money is tight. Household disposable income is lower. One think tank warned earlier this year that households were going to lose as much as 20% of their disposable income. Ouch. Mortgage repayments are going up, and the cost of just the basic stuff that you need to survive, i.e. food and heating, is continually going up. And that means that the idea of affording Christmas might fill you with a bit of a sense of panic. A very natural response to feelings of stress like this can be just to avoid thinking about it altogether, also known as the ostrich effect. Doing this can help you feel less stress in the moment, but it's unlikely to solve the problem. And actually, when you inevitably have to take your head out of the sand and deal with the problem head on, it could be a lot worse. The solution is not just to wait and see and hope for the best. The solution is to plan. Plan what you can afford, plan who you need to buy for, plan what you're going to buy for them, and plan what food you are going to need over the Christmas period. And also plan what you're not going to buy because you don't need it. Be really, really clear with yourself right from the start. If you approach Christmas on the whole with this mindset, then you're much more likely to emerge from it with your bank balance unscathed and just the memory of a happy Christmas. That leads us on to the next thing to do, which is to figure out your budget. Money Supermarket found that the average UK household expenditure on Christmas last year was £1,811. In the US, figures suggest that it's just under $1,000. But of course, you have to take into account that there are a number of factors that will affect how much Christmas costs you. That includes how many kids you have, how big your extended family is, how many people you actually buy gifts for. Do you buy gifts for your friends and your family as well? And also, how many people do you host for Christmas dinner if you're the one that hosts the Christmas dinner? A really good starting point is to look at how much you spent last year and analyse what that money went on. Consider whether this amount is affordable for you this year, and then look at the items that your money went on and consider if there's anywhere where you could cut back. Don't worry if you're panicking at this stage, because we're going to be talking more about money saving strategies in just a second. Once you have a budget, you then want to make sure that you have that money in December. What you don't want to do is leave all the heavy lifting to your December pay packet. You need to spread the cost across as many months as you can. As I film this, we're just going into October, so make sure that you are taking some money out of October and November pay packets as well in order to afford your Christmas costs. And then guys, from January, start saving for Christmas next year right away so that you get a head start. Saving £1,800 in 12 months means setting aside £150 a month. Saving £1,800 in 3 months means you have to save £600 a month. Again, this is just an example figure. Some may spend less, some may spend more. The point is, give yourself as much time as possible to prepare for these costs. Next, track your spending and gifts. I have a really cool Christmas spreadsheet, and you can use that to keep a track of your budget and what gifts you have bought, including what you plan to spend and what you actually spent. So I'll link that in the description below. Make a list of all of the people that you need to buy for and allocate a budget for how much you want to spend on each person. So when it comes to us, we tend to spend more on our children than anyone else. As part of the organizational process as well, while you're doing this, I really recommend finding just one place where you put all of the gifts, and just making sure whether you have my spreadsheet and you use that, or you have a piece of paper that you list down what you have bought so that you can keep track. In previous years, I've lost track of what I bought for stocking stuffers, and I just ended up buying way more than was actually needed. So have it organized in one place so that you know exactly what you've got, so that you don't overbuy. Plan what your Christmas grocery budget is going to be and how much you actually need to buy, the number of meals you need to cook, and the number of people you're catering for. It is so easy to overspend on Christmas food. It all looks so delicious, and like the supermarkets do this because they know that we will overspend on food at Christmas. They know that we will think, hey, who cares, that looks amazing. Even if we don't eat it on Christmas Day, maybe we'll have it on Boxing Day or New Year's Eve. But even though it's Christmas, the same sensible food budgeting rules apply. Buy only what you need. Meal plan so that food is not wasted. Make sure that you are using cashback when you shop at supermarkets. Do take advantage of offers, but don't let the supermarkets sell you food that you won't going to buy anyway and that you don't actually need. A stock check of the food that you already have in your cupboards and in your fridge freezer is really sensible to do in November, just so you have an idea of what you already have. I've done a raid of our cupboards and I've found a jar of goose fat that's still well within date. It will expire in July 2025, so that's what I'll be using for our Christmas dinner this year. When planning what you're going to buy for kids, it can really help to categorize the types of gifts that you're going to get them so that they get a variety, and then that kind of feels like they're getting more because they're getting a few different things, as opposed to getting like a big bundle of like very similar stuff and then lots of other things too. So try and really strategize it. There's this thing called the 5 gift rule, which I really love. And this involves getting your kids something that they want, something that they need, something they'll wear, something to read, and something to do. I love the something to do category because one of my favorite gifts to get people is like memory making gifts rather than stuff. So something that we're going to go out and do together. This strategy just really helps to focus your mind when you're writing a gift list. Next tip is to consider a no gift pact. This is the kind of thing that needs to be agreed early in the season so that every single adult in your family is on board. But it can be a really great saving to agree with the adults in your family and maybe your friends as well that you're not going to buy each other gifts this year. Me personally, like my 2 kids are the main focus of my Christmas budget, and so in previous years me and my husband have agreed we're not going to buy each other presents. I've also done the same with my brother and with my sister-in-law, and we just exchange gifts between the kids. I know that this can be controversial with some families, but just in my experience, like the adults in my life just have so much stuff already, and you often just find yourself kind of forcing the issue when it comes to shopping for them. You're just looking for something and just spending money for the sake of it. And look, it's lovely to buy someone a nice gift if you found something that you genuinely think they like, that you know that they don't have, and you feel like, oh yeah, that would be lovely to give them. But if you're regularly finding yourself just thinking they have everything they need, they buy all the stuff they need for their hobbies, maybe just consider that no gift pact. If that doesn't really appeal, then you could also try a secret Santa among the adults in your family so that everyone gets a gift, but you're not having to buy for every single individual. Next, don't rush it. One of the main reasons why I plan for Christmas ahead of time is because that I know that when I'm rushed, I spend more. I spend more because I'm making rush decisions. I spend more because I'm just reaching for the easy option, and it's not even necessarily something that someone really wants. It's often just like, yeah, that will do, and that often leads me to overspending. I spend more because I'm not seeking out the best price, and I spend more because when I'm rushed, I'm not thinking about what I already have, and I inevitably end up overbuying. So give yourself plenty of time to make that list of the gifts that you're going to get and where you're going to get them from, and research where you're going to get the best price. Make sure that you're tracking the price of things, especially big ticket items. So one year I bought both the girls Amazon Fire Kids tablets, and I knew, because I'd been looking at the price over a long period of time, that Amazon always discounts those products on their Black Friday and Cyber Monday sale. In fact, I think it's as much as like 30 or 40%. It's a big discount. So I waited to purchase then, and I saved a lot on the price of those devices. And while we're talking about sales, it's a really good idea to make a note of key sales dates in your diary so that you can take advantage of them. So any toy stores that have particular discounts, just really keep an eye out for when those are coming up. For example, Very and Argos often do big bargain deals on toys in the run up to Christmas. My next tip is don't order turkeys in advance. Companies are already emailing me, encouraging me to order my Christmas turkey in advance, but I personally never do this. This is because I really like to wait and research prices. Now, I get that for some people, you want to know that that turkey is locked down. You want to know you're definitely going to have one. You can pick it up Christmas Eve. There's going to be no doubts about it. That turkey is coming. It's not going to ruin Christmas because you don't have a turkey. But honestly, in my experience, having gone into supermarkets on Christmas Eve, there are always turkeys. I like to just wait and research the best price. Where am I going to get the best value for money for a turkey? Now, a lot of the newspapers, the media websites in the run up to Christmas are doing comparisons and taste tests. So I like to have a read of that and then decide where I'm going to get my turkey from. Of course, if you are someone who really likes to buy in advance and have it organized, but you find that the cost of a fresh turkey is a lot, then you could consider buying frozen. It's so much cheaper. And if a turkey is really, really stretching your budget, then you could consider getting a turkey crown, which works out a lot cheaper and you've still got some delicious turkey for Christmas Day. Or why not buy a chicken instead? I know it doesn't taste the same as turkey, but does it really, really matter? It still makes for a delicious Christmas dinner. My next money saving tip for Christmas is to have a no spend rule on clothes. Christmas is a time for parties and special events, and that means that brands are really vying for your attention when it comes to selling party outfits, Christmas PJs and Christmas jumpers. So try to put in place a no buy rule for festive occasion wear. And I think this is particularly important to do if in previous years you've already bought a lot of festive clothing and themed pajamas, all that kind of stuff. If you've already got it, tell yourself that this is the year you're not going to buy anything new. You can use these reliable frugal questions to help yourself resist impulse buying. Ask yourself if you need it. Do you have something else that serves the same purpose? Can you actually afford it? If you don't have the money in your account to buy this, then you just shouldn't be buying it. And by not having the money, I mean in the overall budget for the holidays. It can be very easy to spend money that you see sitting in your bank account, but if you've already allocated that money as part of your Christmas budget, you need to resist spending it. One thing that can make it really, really difficult to avoid buying seasonal clothing is the one-off festive events that are forced upon us. I hate to point the finger of blame here, but in my life, it's usually the school. So my kids' school always has a Christmas jumper day. And my kids hate wearing Christmas jumpers. They're just not into it. They never want to wear them on Christmas Day. They literally just wear them for that one day at school. And even if you shop around at the supermarkets to look at their Christmas jumper range, they're typically between 15 and 20 pounds. I've got 2 kids, so that's up to 40 pounds spent on something that they wear for 6 hours at school. And to be honest, I don't even think they wear them for the full 6 hours of school. As I said, they don't really like Christmas jumpers. They whip them off right away, but because this is a school event, you kind of feel like you can't not participate. But guys, there is a solution to this kind of thing, whether it be Christmas jumper day or a school nativity. The big one that I like to do is to buy secondhand on online marketplaces like Vinted and Facebook Marketplace. You can often find items on there that have only been worn once or even twice. I know because I've sold items on there. You could also try to swap jumpers with friends who have got slightly older kids, or maybe if you have a Facebook community group or some kind of school WhatsApp group, you could talk about swapping Christmas jumpers there so you get something that fits your child. If you do have to buy new, then try and get something a little bit baggy so it could be feasibly worn again next year. Alternatively, what you could do is try to buy a sweater that is in a pattern or a colour that is not just Christmas specific, but that could be worn over all of winter. For example, something with like a Fair Isle pattern on it. Or you could try and DIY a Christmas jumper by adding a little bit of tinsel pinned on there here and there, or adding some small Christmas lights. On a very similar vein, try to have a no new Christmas decor rule. Every year it seems that there is a new trend in Christmas decor and the shops are trying to get you to buy an entirely brand new set of Christmas decorations so that you can hop on board this trend, whether it's like metallics or rustic look or like Santa went to the rainbow, that kind of stuff. If you are really tempted, then consider heading to wherever it is that you store your Christmas decor and just remind yourself of what you already have. My mum handed down to me a Mr. Men Merry Christmas banner that she has owned for decades. And honestly guys, it's not trendy, It's not particularly attractive. It's cute for kids. I mean, my kids actually are probably a little bit too old for Mr. Men, but I still put it up because it makes me feel nostalgic and happy and Christmassy. I actually think it's the older decorations that we've had for a really, really long time that can make our house feel way more Christmassy and cozy. If you do want to have some new Christmas decorations, then maybe consider making some of your own. One year I made my own Christmas wreath, and this was really, really inexpensive because I managed to forage for a lot of the greenery for it, such as sprigs of holly, from the woods and from the garden around where we live. Finally, try to plan ways to have a magical Christmas for less. One of the things that piles the most pressure on us to spend at Christmas is that feeling of needing to make it really special for our kids. But you don't have to spend money to do that. Kids, particularly really little kids, have no concept of how much money you're spending at this time of year. To be honest, they're just enchanted by the whole vibe of the Christmas season. So you can inject some magic using low-cost festive fun. Here's a couple of ideas. Did you know that you can get a free letter from Santa for your kids? All it requires is a bit of planning ahead. So here in the UK, the Royal Mail will send your child a letter from Santa. You need to get it in by the end of November. Okay, guys, so what you need to do is get your kids to write a letter to Santa, get it sent to the Royal Mail address, which is on their website, and I'll link it in the description below. Get it sent to the Royal Mail address in time for the end of November in order to have a chance of getting a free reply. There are also charities that will send a letter from Santa to your kids for a small donation. So that's really nice, I think, because it's low cost. There's the magic of your kid getting the letter in the post, but then also you're helping a charity at this time of year as well. The US and elsewhere, I have seen, also offer very, very similar things through their own postal services. And another great way to enjoy Christmas is simply to head out in the car and check out the Christmas lights. One of my favorite childhood memories is whenever we were driving back from relatives' homes over the Christmas period, we would drive through London and check out the Christmas lights in London in the early evening, and honestly it was just so magical. So try and figure out where around you, which streets have really gone all out for Christmas. Take the kids out after dark, let them stay up a little bit late, make it like a really exciting treat, drive around and just have a little look, and that in itself is just so much fun and just so much gets you in the Christmas mood. And please guys, I would so love it if you could share your own Christmas money saving tips in the comments.